Welcome to the Narrative Mindset Podcast. This is your first time tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. When you get time, feel free to view the earlier episodes. Today, I left home, went out to my car. I got in, put my keys in, turned the car on, got ready to head out. I head on out the parking lot. I'm up the street, and I start picking people up. Picked up a few passengers. I had one passenger who was really quiet, didn't say much, but he scooted over into the back seat behind me. I didn't mind it. Kept driving. Started moving around back there. Still didn't pay too much attention to it. He rolled down his window. I glanced in the rearview mirror. He wasn't smoking. So I kept driving. Heard him moving around in the back of me. Sounded like he was going through his pockets and things of that nature. I still didn't mind it. I kept driving. We were halfway to his destination. Keeps moving. I hear some keys. I thought to myself, not a big deal. I keep driving. I turn. I go down the street with no street lights. I hear him pull something else out of his pocket. I didn't pay any attention to it. I kept driving. I look in my rearview mirror. He's looking directly at me. Now I started to think, I wonder, should I panic or didn't know, so I kept driving. Get about halfway down the street. There are absolutely no street lights. He's still looking at me in the rearview mirror. I didn't pay any attention to it. He keeps moving around in the back. So I said, hey, is everything okay? Nothing. I said again. I said, hey, is everything okay? Nothing. We're 2 blocks from his destination. I glance in my rearview mirror again. He's not looking at me anymore. All of a sudden, another car gets behind us. A block away from where he's going. Police lights come on. I'm wondering why are they stopping me? So I pull over. Police walks up to the car. I let him know that I have a concealed weapon in the vehicle. He says, can I see your license? I go to reach for my wallet. I don't have my license. I'm patting my pockets. I'm nervous. I'm looking for my wallet. I tell the officer, I'm not sure, I must have left my wallet at home. He says, well, sit tight. Let me go back to my car and check everything out. He goes back to his car. My passenger says, I have a concealed weapon also. I said, well, you might want to inform the officer that you have a concealed weapon. And he says, I can. And I says, okay, why not? He says, because I have warrants. I said, well, you're going to jail anyway, so why not make it easy on yourself? He said, I don't want to go back to jail. I said, well, that's not really a big choice right now. So about then, the officer comes back up and he says, hey, he said, does your passenger have a firearm? And I said, officer, I'm a rideshare driver. I have no idea if my passenger has a weapon or not. So he asked the passenger, good sir, knocks on his window. Can you roll down the window? The passenger rolls down the window. He said, you have ID? Do you have any weapons in the vehicle? Man says, yes, I have a weapon. And the officer said, I need to see your hands. He shows him his hands. The officer says, I'm going to need you to step outside the vehicle. Man says, no. The officer said, I'm going to ask you again to step out of the vehicle. Man says, no. So the officer opens the door, tells the man, make your hands visible at all times. He grabs the man, he pulls him out of the car. He finds a weapon in the man's jacket. He goes and puts him in the police car. He comes back. He says, I talked to my supervisor. He said, I'm going to have to take you to jail because you don't have your CCW and you're carrying a weapon. I said, okay. He tells me, are there any other weapons in the car? I say, no. He says, I'm going to need you to get out of the vehicle. I said, okay, officer. Open my door. I get out of the vehicle. The officer puts me in cuffs. Puts me in the back seat right next to the passenger that I had picked up for rideshare, whose destination was a block away. He takes me down to the police station, and they book me. They put me in a cell, sitting in my cell. I'm thinking, how did I forget my wallet at home? And the officer comes in and he says, I wanted to let you go, but my supervisor said, no. He said, I have to take you in. He said, I can't let you go. So this wasn't my decision. This was my supervisor's decision. Yes, he was trying to soften the blow on himself and blame everything on his supervisor. I spent the night in jail. They let me out the next day on my own reconnaissance. Went back to my car and drove home to get my CCW.